Hi guys, good day and welcome to Esso's Villa with Coach E, the emotions doctor and also known as the restorer. So today we're going to be delving into a very beautiful, incredible, interesting, but actually maybe a controversial topic. And then I'm not going to be doing this alone. I have with me in the studio a professional or an expert in this field of discussion we're going to be delving into. He's going to be introducing himself, but before he does that, I need you to quickly know first and first that he's happily married to a high flying woman. And he's a father of two amazing boys. It's very important. I needed to say that because of the nature of the topic we're going to get into, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, please meet my guest, Dr. Ovier. Could you please
Thank
introduce
you, thank
yourself?
you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. My name is Dr. Ovie. I'm a medical doctor with experiences in psychiatry, also known as mental health. So, like we all know, mental health, depression, schizophrenia, what people call madness in quotes, are the people that have challenges with substance abuse, cocaine, colos, SK, weed, and some other drugs. Then also, um, there's also a field of psychiatry called child and adolescent psychiatry, where we also attend to people with children and teenagers with mental disorders. Okay, that's for that. But currently now, I'm doing residency training in pathology. It's not a very, very popular field of medicine, like what people know, like surgery, pediatrics,
Yeah.
obstetric and gynecology. It's not very popular. Many people don't know it, but it's a very important field of medicine. So what we do basically is we don't attend to patients, and I believe that's why we're not popular. We hardly see patients.
You don't attend to
So
patients.
yes, we are in
You give the doctors what they need to even attend to the
yes,
patients,
so
actually.
we're in the laboratory studying cases. So what we do basically is we study cells and tissues. So once the surgeons remove any organ or tissue from the body, they send to us. We study it, tell them the type of disease. Sometimes is it cancer or is not cancer, and even if it is cancer, the type of cancer, the grade of cancer, if it is something that is mild or something that is very, very aggressive. Then also we also perform autopsies. Somebody dies, there are questions surrounding the death, or they don't know what killed the person. We as pathologists, that's what we do. We perform autopsies to be able to answer the question of what killed the person. And sometimes it can be very helpful, especially in cases that involves litigation,
Litigation.
court cases, family suspecting this person,
Mm.
or witches and wizards. You know how it happens in
Uh,
our country. So, in summary, so my name is Dr. V, and this is what I do for a living. Thank you.
yes, so I needed to make Dr. V introduce himself, get a whole lot more because we're going to be seeing him a lot on this podcast, and I'm sure you already have an idea as to why that is, right? So because he just talked about substance abuse, we're going to have to get into that to know, a lot of people go through these things and they don't even know who to go to, where to get to, and we're going
That's
to
true.
get into that. But even though that's not the main deal for this topic, but just so you know, because we will see him a whole lot more. I'm sure you're interested in knowing about your health and all of that. You really want to. On to today's topic. Yes, the cocoa. The I don't even know what we're going to call it now, but the like yes, that very topic. Dr. Ovi, I don't tell you say this topic won't enter, so maybe they not come beat two of us.
Uh,
But but it is well.
Nobody will beat
Ladies
us.
and gentlemen, we want to get into the topic of feminism.
Easy.
I don't say femininity. No,
Easy.
feminism. Because feminism is supposed to be a very interesting, right, theory or a very interesting principle that guides certain persons that's supposed to help make the world, quote and unquote, a safer and a better place. But I don't think that's what we are having at the moment. So before we get into that, hmm, Dr. V, I'm almost at that point where, I went out one day and somebody said, I was talking and say, you're a feminist. I didn't know whether to say yes
Oh no.
or no because of the idea.
Ah, the-
So before we delve in, maybe Dr. V, you want to quickly talk about what's feminism in its pristine
States.
state?
Okay. What the truth is that the concept of feminism, as in fact, different people have different ideas
Mm-hmm.
or different understand. In fact, even among the feminists themselves, they also have different ideas, different concepts, different beliefs in about feminism. That's why you
Mm-hmm.
hear things like you're not a true feminist, I'm a true
Oh
feminist, they're a
wow.
fake feminist. So it's something like that.
Wow.
But what I believe feminism is that I'm not going to give a definition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a definition
Just the
for it.
concept, yeah.
But I think it's a concept that that wanted to empower women, wanted to give women a voice in the society at large. That's a summary. Because if you look at the history of feminism, I think in those days, women were marginalized. That's a fact. In the sense that they don't have a voice, they cannot make decisions for themselves. Um, they were not allowed to own properties, they were
Mm-hmm.
not allowed to vote,
Yeah.
they were not allowed to work, they were not allowed to go to school when school started. And I believe some people saw these things and they were like, no, let us advocate, let us push
Yes.
that women should be able to do these things. So I think that is where
The bed, so to right.
feminism started from. That's the
Yeah.
bedrock, that's the
Mm-hmm.
foundation. But what we have now, hundreds of years later, is a far cry from what started. And so let me stop here. As we continue,
Wow.
we'll say more.
It's getting interesting already. So I studied English and literature in university. And one of the things we do is you pick up, conversations and all of that, and you're meant to analyze these conversations.
Okay.
Yes. So, um, most times when we say English and literature, everybody say, you go study how to they talk. I didn't say I didn't do English education, right? So actually, one of the things you get to do in English language is you could even assist in criminology.
Okay.
Yes, to apprehend criminals and all of that, especially if they do that through writing. So you're able to pick up your writing and you can tell certain details that makes this writing belong to so and so person, and you can streamline until from this person's writing, this particular writing, we're streamlining it to XYZ. Then let's narrow it down and all of that. Yeah. So one of the things we do is that we get to read a whole lot of literature. And of course, I read a whole lot of Chimamanda's literature,
Oh,
because a lot of people say is that she's. Anyways, we'll get to that. And in analyzing these books, this literature, it could be a novel, whatever. It could be a document. It could be even as much as legal cases and all of
okay.
that. In doing all of that, there are several theories you could use, right, to analyze a discourse or a conversation. One that I still remember that we use a lot, is they tell you using the principle or the theory of feminism, analyze XYZ, right? And by that, what you're looking for is that you're simply looking for the part of this book that speaks to equality, fairness for both gender. Like you said, one gender was marginalized and a group of people thought to give them a voice, right? So when you're analyzing, you're looking for what are the elements or parts of this book that brings us to seeing that somebody is saying, no, this gender is marginalized. No, this equality, they have to, and all of that. So that's what I know feminism to be. But right now, Dr. V, like you said, is a far cry. Maybe we want to look at what feminism is now.
Now, okay.
What is feminism
Um,
now?
to be able to say what feminism is now, I may have to track back to what it was and how it has. I don't know how to say evolved
I,
or snowballed
I
or
don't even know.
even what's it called now, degraded or something.
Yeah.
But now, the original cause was let's give women a voice,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I don't know, but I think one of the problems was that the way they went about it,
Mm.
or I'm not talking about the earlier times, but I think some of the things that contributed to what feminism is now
Mm-hmm.
could be that could be as a result of how they went about, in the sense that yes, we want to give women a voice. We want them to be able to go to school, to work, to make their own money, not to be bossed around. And I think the reason, one of the reasons that they made it look as if men was a problem.
Hmm.
You understand? They made it look as if men are not allowing us to do this, men are not
Yeah.
allowing us to go to school, men are not doing this, men are not doing that. And I believe that it could be as a result of maybe knowledge then was not as as evolved as it is now.
Yes.
So they just believe that the women should be at home to take care of the children, while the men should go and work and provide for the family,
Mm-hmm.
which in itself wasn't a bad or is not a bad idea.
Hmm.
So I think that after, so maybe a lot of women, this is like my theory. I wasn't there then. So but I believe that maybe a lot of women, they grew up with that mindset that man is the problem. So I'm going to fight. I'm going to go to school. And I feel
Hmm.
that, or I think that after they achieved those aims, for example, now women are going to school, women are working, women are doing everything that men are doing. So I believe that that ideology that man is the problem was still there, despite the fact that they've achieved everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the original, should I say, demands or points,
Mm-hmm.
votes, work, education, and to a large extent, independence, which in these days,
Yeah.
women have it,
Yeah.
except for some very interior areas that are still underdeveloped. Women have it. So I believe that they already have these things, but there's something inside that still makes them feel like men are the problem. And so because
Hmm.
of that, feminism now evolved to becoming
Hatred
a
for
threat
men.
for men, against men, anything that has to do with men. And it didn't stop there. It's now entered into the home, into families, and even down to siblings sometimes. There are
Yeah.
some things that, for example, now you say, why should I be doing this when my brother is doing this? You get it? So feminism now, what we have now, hey, I don't know what to say, but it's toxic. It's it has negative influences on people. It is not helping the society, and it's not even helping the self-acclaimed feminists.
Hmm.
So I think that is what we have now. It is vile. It
I
is
think that's the
vile.
word. It is
Yes,
vile.
it is venomous, and it is terrible, to say the least.
Wow. So, this is where we are right now with feminism, with the issue of feminism. If my brain serves me well, I think I became a lot more interested in these conversations from 2019. And I think maybe that's because that was the year I got my certification as a family systems practitioner. And so, yes, by default, I'm sure I began to be interested in topics like this. And even as a result of the course I studied, which allows you to dovetail into other courses, it also awakened this curiosity to, certain things. I remember very well, I don't know if you remember Dr. Ovi. I'm not saying this is the origin, but I'm saying from when I started tracking 2020 in Benin City, there was this case of this girl that they say was raped to death. I think it was around Ugbawazis or something. At that point, I remember I was saying to some of my ladies then, I said this conversation is taking another toll. And the rise of COVID also gave a lot of voice to this bitterness in the hearts of women of my gender, that they, this thing that they've bottled, because after all, we're not going to work, we're all at home. The internet was our means of communication, and
Yes.
so people, took to social media to, everybody just went agog, and it revealed the entirety or the personality of the belief of a lot of people. And I remember I was saying that, I told somebody, I said, this case, the way you want it turn, it won't turn to men versus women.
Women.
Because if you still remember, then in fact I was shocked, because they're saying things like all men are rapists. No, those kind of extreme statement. And since then till now, it's been really, really terrible. And it's like we just had a set of women that woke up and say, the men they don't too do, like you said, they thought that the men, as it were, was the problem, but even after getting everything, they realize that, in fact, like I like to say to people sometimes, if you're not careful how you go about a fight, you end up becoming the very thing you hated
Yeah.
without even knowing. And I think that's what's happening. We don't need men. All men are. So when you begin to hear this kind of extreme statement, a blanket statement, all men are. And in retaliation, we hear things like all women are.
Exactly.
So it's a fight. So actually, where we are now is feminism becoming a fight between both genders, like a fight of superiority. And I'm trying to understand to what extent.
There's this gender war. You cannot deny it.
It's there.
Especially, and I think one of the channels to which these things became widespread is social media.
Yes.
Because with social media, anybody can churn out anything. Social media has given everybody a voice.
Yes.
So people can bring out
Both the
intelligent
stupid,
ideas. People can bring
the
out
foolish,
stupid, foolish,
the
and
wise.
nonsense ideas. And you need to know that now, one of the most interesting things is that most of these people that have these feminists who have this mindset that men are evil, men are this, men are that. If you look at their lives, they've not had personal experiences. They may have amazing fathers, brothers, friends, colleagues, but they are listening to somebody on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and that's what's it called? That's whatever they are feeding on from those platforms is overriding their own personal experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they say all men are this, all men are that, I look around myself. For example, now they say marriage is a scam. But I look around me. This person is happily married. This one is happily married. My parents are married. This one is married. So where is this coming from? So social media is one of the it's not one of, it is the largest audience or the largest avenue whereby these things spread. Then another thing I also want to say is this. These days, a lot of people feed from social media when you feed from social media than maybe personal interaction.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They go to work. I mean, when they are working, they don't have time to
your phone,
to use their phones. They have time to talk with colleagues. They close, they go, maybe they stay alone. Even people that even have flatmates or roommates, they spend more time in their phone. And these things, if you are not careful, there's a way it triggers your emotion. It triggers your emotion. So you the story of this girl was raped, like you said, this girl was raped to death, and somebody comes and say all men are rapists, and maybe she must have heard from somebody saying that somebody attempted to rape me, and so they start brooding on this idea, start thinking about it. Men are this, men are that. Before you see, it starts coming, and when it comes, she starts also giving her own views or ideas concerning whatever belief that she has. But the truth is that this gender war that we have will not take us anywhere, because it's not a battle of superiority. Who is superior? Is it the men that are superior? Is it the women that are superior? And the reality is that this fight, nobody will win.
Exactly.
The men will not win. The women will not win, because society needs both men and women
performing in their optimally
in their God-given strengths and abilities.
Yeah.
So that is why I never entertain any form of gender war, saying that fear women. No, we need women. Men
you don't need a man.
No, I don't need a man. No, we need
each other.
Man. We need each other. And the earlier we realize this, that as a man, then I need women in my life for. And as a woman, I need men in my life for, the better for society. But like we said, gender war is, we cannot deny it. And the problem is not even now. The problem is the future.
Exactly.
You will not see 15, 16-year-olds. You understand? 15, 16-year-olds who now have some very skewed mindset about men and women. And you'll be like, what do you know? What have you experienced? No man can tell me to do this. I cannot take this from a woman. From a 15-year-old.
Exactly. That statement, no man can tell me. Nobody should tell me. No one should. It's really, really annoying. And the truth of the matter is that nobody was made to be a self-boss.
Nobody.
That's the first deceit. So getting to that point where you feel like I am the authority over myself is already negating
Nature.
humanity. You're already negating the essence of humanity, right? Because you were not made to be an authority over yourself. At some point, if you really want to do, you must be submitted to somebody. Even the males that you're looking at and saying, hey, is the one, he has to be submitted to somebody. Somehow, somewhere, I think it's this conversation of I don't want to be anybody's fool. But you are already somebody's fool if you actually are living, either at your workplace, but
Yes.
you are somebody's fool. The question is just choose whose fool you want to be. Right?
Yes.
Choose whose fool you want to be. So, Dr. V, let's niche this thing down to family. I'm very big on family because I feel that the family is the production unit of a society.
Yes.
Everything, every heel, every whatever we see in society today, it's something that was not corrected at the family level.
I agree totally.
That's, that's dovetail, you know. So this fight, this thing. So because bringing it down to family, what we now see is a group of women or even male that come and say, waiting. All right, Shebi, you say you be man like me and you be. All right, so let's go 50-50.
So bring it on.
What do you think about this, Dr. Ovie? The
Okay.
man say 50, the woman say 50. We're sharing our responsibilities. We are doing everything 50-50. Because now we're niching down on the effect of feminism to the
To the
family and by
family.
extension the society.
Okay. Now, when it comes to family, I think family suffers the most. Both the man, the woman, and the children. Like I said, um, let's say as a woman, and then you said you're a feminist, you're not going to submit to your husband, both of you are equal and all that, you are suffering. You don't know, but you're suffering. Then you as the man that also got married to a feminist, you're also suffering. Then same way you as a man who believes that I'm not going to allow a woman to disrespect me and all that, you are suffering. You may not know, but that beauty that you're supposed to experience in your marriage, you are not experiencing it. So talking about feminism in marriage. Now, I think one of the biggest areas feminists have problems with is the issue of submission. Now we are
Mm-hmm.
Christians, and whatever thing we are going to bring out, whatever suggestions or recommendations we are going to bring out, has to come from the Bible.
Yeah, because I mean that's how we live.
Yes.
Except if we think that we're not made by God. So I usually have to say
Yes.
that if you believe that you were made by God, not a big bang theory, you did not fall, explosion. If you think that yes, your idea of creation is God, then like I always say, you are just an invention in the hands of an inventor.
Yes.
You cannot know how to function outside of the inventor. So because I know that some people say, yeah, I don't want to start again. So I always have to quickly lay this. If you don't think that God made you, it's fine. You don't have to. But if your idea of creation is God made man, God made woman, then the question is how do you intend to function outside of the laid down principles of the inventor who
Yeah.
happens to be God? So hey, yes, so
Exactly. So the Bible gives a clear instruction to both the man and the woman when it comes to marriage.
yeah.
The Bible tells the man to love your wife as Christ loved the church, which is like a perfect love. Because the love that Christ has for the church is a perfect love. And it says that he gave himself. That means if he come, they will ask a question. You are at home with your wife and your family, and armed robbers come and they say, okay, should they kill you or they should kill your wife? According to biblical standards. Because it says Christ loves this as Christ loves the church, that
And
he gave himself for her. That means a man should be able to give himself for his wife.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just telling you that the Bible just telling us to the extent that there is nothing that will be too much for you to give
Yes.
for your wife. Then the Bible also tells the wife to submit to the husband in all things. And these are feminine. These are all the areas they have.
This is where they have issue with
because they believe that submission means you'll be oppressed.
Subservience.
Yes, like I don't want any man to oppress me. I don't want any man to boss me around. I don't want any man to do this to me, to do that to me. But there cannot be two captains in a ship. You can't have two. As far as the nature of marriage is concerned, the man is the head,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman is to follow. But the fact that you are following does not, or the fact that you are submitting does not mean that you are inferior.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that your value goes down. No. So when it comes to the marriage, this ideology is not helping marriages. So the woman now is trying to question the man's authority. The woman now is trying to say, okay, you are working, I'm working. So everything in this house is going to be
The bills
50-50.
are 50
And I don't
50.
believe in 50-50. I believe in
100
100-100.
100.
I bring my best, you bring
You
your
bring
best.
your
Because there are
best.
some days you cannot bring your best.
Yes.
My best will be able to
Should
cover
cover
for
for
us.
us.
There are days I cannot bring my best.
Your
Your
best.
best will be able to cover for us. So this 50-50 thing doesn't make sense. And so you now have people that are antagonistic to their husband, people that don't respect their husband, to the extent that some say that they cannot cook, that cooking is not a woman's responsibility. And I am baffled because normally, when you are getting married, it means that of everybody in this world, of the billions of people in this world, you have chosen, like I said, marriage is a choice. You are the one that chose this particular person. It's not like a family you are born. You didn't choose your family, you are born into your family. So you can say that, okay, I didn't like the
I
family I
didn't
was
like my
born
sibling,
into.
I didn't like my brother and sister.
But when it comes to a spouse, you chose the person.
Yes.
So you chose somebody. So as a feminist, now you chose a husband, rather. And of everybody in this world, the person
that
you
came
chose,
for you.
you are choosing not to give this person your best. I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to cook, I'm not going to clean the house, I'm not going to do this. Maybe to get to a point that they'll say I'm not going to, maybe the man should carry pregnancy. No, we've not gotten to that.
The truth is that these days, Dr. Ovi, that thing you just said, it's a conversation, because what we see these days is that many times, and it's like men are now beginning to get gaslighted. I'm a woman. We get to see a lot of male getting gaslighted into, you want me to come and carry pregnancy now? Do you know what it means to go through the delivery room? I prefer to call it delivery room than the labor room.
Labor room.
You know, I put one leg for heaven. I was almost dying. Do you know what it means to? I know that some people will hear what they want to hear and say she's sounding so insensitive. My point here is, in the biological makeup, right? The difference between me as a female and him as a male is that woman. It comes as though it's one of my strengths, it's one of my uniqueness,
peculiarities
as a female. That's why you know get how you want to do them. A male cannot. At least so far we have not seen that.
Yes, we've not seen it so
We've
far.
not seen it so far, because yes, I know you could have test tube babies, but it is such that however you want to do it, you want to get babies, you need the sperm and the egg, and you have to create something that is a simulation of the womb to be able to nurse this out there. So I get really worried, Dr. V, actually, when it feels like we now see this other extreme gaslighting. You may go push after all I've gone through.
It happens.
Excuse me. It's like I don't know, I'm sorry, but it's like telling a male that why are you growing beards? Do you understand? I mean, he's made to. His biological makeup. That's why when we now see that women are growing beards at an extreme level, they are saying go and check for something. There is an hormonal imbalance. It means that a certain hormone that's supposed to be functioning at a very mad level, that's supposed to be for a male, even though you have a bit of it, is over. Do you understand? It's the reason why even you as a female, when you don't get pregnant, your husband is relaxed and say, don't worry, we fight 3 months. Okay, what's happening? Because your biological makeup, your strength, your uniqueness requires that happens. So, but I just needed to quickly say that, because you had mentioned it, like the only thing is like because it cannot get pregnant, and it has now become that thing that is like we see them using to gaslight them a lot. And why will you come and tell me to do this? Can you carry pregnancy? Hello, you don't have to be pregnant. You shouldn't. No, really. I think this sounds extreme, but that's the truth. Like I said to people, it's not your choice to be a woman. You were created to be a woman. But you see the conversation of becoming a wife or a mother, it's your choice.
It's your choice.
You don't have to. The
It's your
moment you
choice.
decide to want to take up, maybe because I'm an organizational development expert, I'm always quick to. The moment you decide that you want to take up that role, there are job descriptions that comes with it. And like we all know, for every organization or for every institution, by the time you're employed and you're not able to keep up to the job description, you are fired. So, Dr. Vie, this team, we don't need a man. That's it now.
Yes,
We
yes.
see another extreme that we
We
don't
don't need
need men.
men. All men are useless. Men are not
But
useful
like
to
I
us.
said at the behind the scene, you don't need a man. What do you they do with vibrator? I don't. I mean, Doctor, have you ever over to you because I don't understand.
Okay, we have already established, society cannot survive without men. Society cannot survive without women. So anybody that comes out and says, now this is for both genders,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a man, I don't need a woman, you're lying to yourself.
Honestly,
Because there's something in us that God has put in us that craves the presence of the opposite
the opposite.
gender.
Yes.
If you put a brick wall now, to one very thick wall to separate men and women, they will find a way to either
We'll find
break
it.
the
We'll
wall
break it or we
or
climb, man.
climb
Because I love
over the wall.
men.
So when they say that they don't need men in their lives, I think it's from a place of self-deception.
Yeah.
Place of self-deception, and maybe a place of sheer ignorance. Because you see men every day. You have
Your
fathers,
boss.
you have brothers, you have colleagues at works, you may have neighbors, and like we said, roles. When it comes to building society,
Yeah.
it is men that build society. That's why you find that most of all these tedious jobs, physically demanding jobs, you
Goes
have
to the
more
male.
men than women.
Women, yes.
Then when we talk about relationship, companionship, and all that, there is the what's it called? The companionship we get from the opposite gender cannot be like the same you get from the same gender. So when they say that they don't need a man, it is a lie. But the reality is that usually they realize these things when they are maybe old.
Mm-hmm.
When they are old. So because they need a man, they become very rude to men, they become very disrespectful, you can't even approach them. It's as if every man is a virus or a cancer that they run away from. And they also recruit other women to come and join them with this ideology. But I'll say that it's not sustainable. It's just for a few years, and you're even lying to yourself. Because to get to a point that you will know that, I need a man in my life. For example, when I was in university, my hostel was staying. Whenever we had issues in the compound, maybe problem with PHCN, NEPA, maybe there is no water or anything. It is the men that
Of course,
come out
we
and say,
naturally
okay,
expect
let us resolve
this issue.
Now, the women, they will just be in their rooms, be in their whatever thing. They can always just be there with us, maybe just, but we don't expect them to do something
As
like
much
that.
as
I read something somewhere some time ago. I can't remember the specific details, but you can go and check it up. Was it in Finland? I can't remember the country. Somebody built something like a city for only women. At the point, they had about like 3,000 women or something like that. And but I think something happened. Something happened that the women were not looking for men to come and help them to resolve it. So it tells you that you cannot do without a man. And same thing, let me also say this to men also. When you say that you don't need a woman, that's not true. You're lying to yourself. So the summary is that we both need each other. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Ovi. So ideally, what we're seeing is a distortion in
From the
originality.
norm, yes.
A distortion from the originality because even there's another extreme of Dr. Ovi. You know, you were talking about when they now get old, they now realize that.
Okay.
For the females now, yeah, oh, they now realize that. And then you now get to see we have young guys who are gigolos.
Yeah.
So you see these women, what they do at that point is they just get one young boy, give him money, give him whatever he wants, and all he does is just to satisfy them sexually. And what that does, Dr. Ovi, because with time, very soon, people's perception begins to be formed by experiences. But the other part they do not understand or that they do not realize as well is that your thoughts is also bringing your experiences to you.
True.
So it validates the triangle of I said it. So, for example, a woman says, all men are. Because you have the ideology, all men are. When good men come to you, you repel them.
Yeah.
In fact, a good man will not even stay with you with that kind of mindset because,
Ideology.
I mean, he has self worth and respect. So he's not going to stay in a place where he's disrespected. And there it looks like that action further validates your
Thoughts.
belief that men are. Then you now hear things like, he couldn't even stay. That's another conversation we are seeing now, Dr. V. He couldn't even stay. I just said no, he just walked away.
It's very common now. And I think it's because of the,
Fem-
yes, because we cannot be too, I cannot be in a relationship with another man. Because of the innocence, the gentleness, the softness of a woman. So it's men see them as soft, gentle, innocent. So men tend to be very patient,
yes.
lovely, soft with them. You understand? So maybe man meets a girl, and for example, I think I was discussing with a girl, and she said that a guy asked her out, and she told the guy no, and the guy just said okay, and so she felt that the guy will come again. The guy
Pressing.
never came back, and never even tried to even pressure her. So I asked her, how did you tell him no? So she just told him a blunt no. I said no. I said what you need to know as a woman is that God has given you that ability to be soft, gentle, and gracious. I said if you had told him that no in a very gracious and soft manner, he would like, the way this girl even told me no was, it was really nice and respectful. Okay, let me try again. You get it? So one of the things that feminism has done, it has removed that soft, feminine nature. Although it is called feminism, but there's nothing feminine about it. It has removed that soft,
So
feminine nature and has replaced it with this competitive,
masculinity.
bossy,
Yes.
masculine nature. That they feel that okay, I can talk to you like the boss. I'm not saying that when you see a man, you should be scared,
You should be inferior, you
you
should
should feel
feel less or
inferior.
something.
But there's something about being gentle as a woman. I was thinking one day, and I remember that I used to hear men, a lot of people say, that guy is very loyal. No, that guy is loyal. That guy is loyal. That guy is loyal. It's something that gets to men, and they want to, you understand? They want to. That is why sometimes, maybe when a girl is very respectful to, maybe in an area, it gets very respectful to the guys, she greets them. If anything happens to that girl, all the guys can come out and go look for who
Yeah.
is that person that touched
Yes.
our sister.
Yes.
You
Yes, I
get it?
can attest to
So
that.
when this softness has been eroded, and because of that, men now feel like, why should I stress myself for somebody that is even
Man to
acting
man.
like a man like me?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Why should I want to make more effort? Why should I want to put more pressure? Why should I want to spend? Why should I want to pamper? She's a man like me, so because of that, I'll treat her. What's it called? Like a man. I heard somebody saying one day that men are no longer opening doors for women, and I think as long as I saw something like that. You understand? So it's a very sorry
It's a
state.
sorry state,
It's a very sorry
actually.
state, but it is the reality. And so what the best we can do is to see how we can salvage the
This
situation and make
situation.
things better.
So ideally, what we're saying right now is that this feminist movement, right, has gone to another, let's say, far left, where it is now even doing a lot of harm to the women themselves who are fighting for quote and unquote this kind of equality. Because ideally, yeah. So when you talk about equality, equality means give me equal thing now, right? That's what it means. But I always, like, Dr. V was saying behind the scene before we started, I don't know if the word is actually equality. I think what you're looking for is equity.
I agree with you.
That's why when I'm tired, I cannot make food for my husband or for my spouse. I expect that, okay, you understand, and he either orders. If he's not the type that enjoys going to the kitchen, he orders. But if he's the kind that he's looking forward to go and make for us. And not from a place of, it's not being gimme belly. She say, do you understand?
Yes.
Because naturally, appreciation has a way of making human in general feel good. They say you appreciate and you want to do more,
More.
right? But this whole you feel is your right. I don't understand where it's coming from. Like you said, I think it's just a distortion because what we see is marriage is supposed to be that place where we see a level of agreement that, that chord can two work together except they agree.
Agree.
A place where we're supposed to see that level of agreement is in marriage. And that agreement is supposed to be like a an attack to the kingdom of darkness,
Yeah.
right? To the devil. The family union is set up to be that place like Christ and the church, where victory is won. But what we see now is that tearing down. So the resentment, instead of fighting to outdo each other in love, you are fighting to who is seen as the best.
It's
Oh, I have
better.
more money. Who is better? But I remember when I was doing my gender advocacy course last year from OAU, my professor did say the society looks like what we're seeing right now is a society that is flying with one feather when we insist that the men are good, or when the women are not trying to say no, we are superior.
Okay.
Whichever way, it is a bird flying with one feather. Even if the bird thinks that it's strong, it can only, you can't see it at its optimal
At its
best.
peak.
It has to be with its two feathers to be able to be at its peak. And you have said that earlier, that we need each other. And you know let's just go back to creation story a bit. God made man in his own image, male and
Female.
female created he them. And even the feminists, they've not entered Bible, so they say God is the one that made men to be that
Like they say,
because
why didn't Jesus had a female disciple? But now that is it. When your mind is already skewed,
when it's
you
skewed, it's
miss out
skewed. You
some
miss
points.
out on a lot.
There are a lot of stories of women
Female, we see
in
how
Jesus' ministry.
how Jesus was biased and partial. You see Mary and Martha.
Yes.
You see, even his mother, where he had to tell his mother that, woman, why are you making me do something that
It's not
is
yet
not
my
my
time
time?
to do.
But because she came as a woman, he didn't have a choice. So.
Yes.
And what we don't even realize is that this table I won't enter. So that it was because of now we have found another name for it to femininity.
Different terms keep
Exactly.
coming up.
So because of that femininity nature, I hope we remember that Adam was not deceived though.
It wasn't.
It
Even the
is the
Bible said
love
it.
for his wife that made him eat that fruit because he knew what will happen when they take the fruit. When Eve took it, not that's a busha. I'm just, what am I driving at? I'm saying this because of those of you that are angry that God is patriarchal.
Yes, they say it a lot.
Yes, that God is
They
patriarchal.
will say Christianity
That
is what supports
Christianity is what,
patriarchy.
yes, supports patriarchy. But I'm sorry. One of those days I sat down, Dr. Ovier, and really, I think that was like some 8-9 years ago. I sat down with a man of God who went into that Ephesians. Women submit, men love. And I realized that the men are in trouble. Yes. God made Adam and drop the guy for garden. I know where for
Straight up.
safe. But he caused Adam to sleep, formed the woman, brought her by himself. And you come here and say God was patriarchal. Like you said, when you in NLP, neuro linguistic practitioner, we say whatever you're looking for is what you see.
What you see, yes.
Whatever you're looking for is what you see, because there are all indications in the Bible that shows you how tender God is when it comes to female. And then, in fact, you see that part of him when he's even dealing with his children. You hear it when he says, "Can a mother forsake
a suckling child?"
Even if she does, I, the Lord, will never forsake you. And most times when we see God show up as, the male, whatever, it just reminds me of what you said in your hostel. Trouble don't come. Oh, we go back. Is there no man in this house?
Exactly.
Fall out. What do you mean?
It's the truth. Now,
fall out. And then we even get angry and women who are raised, they'll get to a point and like, Is he really a
A
man?
man. Yeah.
Because there is something we're expecting. Like a male shows up, I'm trying to lift something, you they look me. But I think, like you said, even the guys are not tired because the love that you're supposed to give to them to encourage them in that seeming hard journey that they're already on, because we don't seem to realize it. They're on a hard journey already. Because God could have made Adam and Eve and dropped them in the garden. He
Yes, both
made
of
both
them.
of them in spirit, actually. But he put Adam, tell Adam, go and be tending to garden.
And
Then
keep
brought
it.
and keep it, and then brought the woman, come to a garden that have been tended for. All
No
you have
instruction for the woman.
all you have to do is submit this man so that he has that's why, Dr. Ovi, I now see that, you know, that for a married man or for men who have females, their sisters, their mother, if the whole world like call them a failure, they are still fine. They would break when that woman,
Yeah.
that female close to them, whether as a wife, as a sister, as a mother, looks at them and call them to,
I feel
you
you.
are a failure. That's it. That's also when they want to be challenged. It is also that woman. I mean, do we really know our power as women? Do we know what we carry as women? That the devil has just used feminism, equality. Oh, yeah, see the equality now. Now you say you get belay, you're pushing. You know, that's a real issue. So let's not feel like, oh, we're playing down on this. Even
Pregnancy
period alone, more it off.
can be hell.
And a man would never understand that because he doesn't have the capacity to understand that. Just like we would never understand what a man goes through when his wife is inside that delivery room, is waiting. you know a good man, because like you said, you eventually choose who you get to do life with. Do you understand? So, long story short, what we're trying to say is that this feminism movement actually is supposed to be equality, and like you said, those things on the agenda have been achieved. We are now on
Looking
another.
for another what's not missing.
Exactly, like we're looking for what is not
What's not
missing. We're
missing.
looking for a fight that is not there. Which superiority? Nobody is superior to any. I think that sometimes life just brings us this kind of, now because of the emancipation of women, we now see that some women are even in a position to earn more.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
In fact, if you work in the non-governmental space, go and check. Just by being a woman, they'll even tell you, say 60%
Yeah.
of these grants,
There are a lot of privileges
all
for women
women.
now.
Do you understand? There are privileges and rights for women. And then you are married to someone who both of you are supposed to be a team. And then you win the game, finish. You now come home and say, no, I am now the Lord. It seems like submission is not equal to because he has more.
More money.
Maybe you want to talk about that.
Okay, yes. But before that, let me just say something about this equality of it. The truth is that when we're talking about equal rights, equal opportunities, in reality, it doesn't follow. It doesn't work. Let me give an example. Titanic. I watched Titanic when I was an adult. I was like 27 when I watched Titanic. And I think Titanic happened around the early 1900s. I think maybe I don't think 90, I know it's around the early. So, and I believe that at that period, women were not as free or as liberal
Yes,
as
we
now.
could see.
But something struck me when I watched that movie. Immediately that it was imminent that the ship is going to sink, they said, okay, let us start evacuating women and children. That is the natural instinct of a man. They said women and what? Children. I don't know if that will happen now.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, because now they will not say women and children. They might just say, okay, let us evacuate the children first. Then men and women, both of you are equal. You both should fight, you both should struggle and see let's see those that can survive and those that will not survive. So it tells you that this equality is not realistic. About a few years ago, the Ukraine-US war started. I don't know, but I think they made it compulsory for men after a particular age to join the army. They never mentioned anything about women. And these women that are fighting for equal opportunities never said anything. So what if they had said...
But if it was the other way
around? So what if the Titanic then, they had said, okay, let's evacuate men and children. Oh my God. Men are evil. Men are the problem of this world. Men are this, men are this, men are that. Men are... So it is natural for. I'll give an example. When we're in school, we usually go for rural outreach. We spend about, I think, 2 weeks. So we went for rural outreach. So we, the guys, were staying in one place. Place was
Yeah,
just there.
near day.
So where the guys were staying is a little distance from where the girls were staying. So I think once something happened, we decided to go to where the girls were staying. Wow, we were shocked, but we never said anything. We were like, no problem. There are women; they should stay there. But in marriage, it's the other way around. So what am I trying to say? This equality of a thing is not sustainable. There are some things that benefit women, and there's some things that benefit men. In as much there is no share abuse, there's no abuse. Let us leave it at that. If problem come, if a lion comes now, both of you will come behind me.
Before.
You understand?
It's just it's a normal
Yes,
whatever.
it is normal.
And I'm going to find it funny, Dr. Ovie, if I come behind you and then you are running.
Exactly. You get it. So let's not try to destroy some of these protective mechanisms, some of these things. Just the same way,
That's
for
the
example,
word.
like if we have a
Protective
party,
mechanism.
yes, if we have a party now, for example, organizing a party, as the men are arranging the canopies, the women are supposed to be in the kitchen cooking, washing the plates, sweeping the plates, men are arranging the canopies, clearing grass. Everybody is doing
Exactly what he or she can do at that time.
So now doesn't be complaining that why should I be cooking when there are men there? No, the men are doing other things. Same thing also applies in the family. There are some natural instincts. For example, if power goes off, or maybe power goes off.
I'm not going to tell my girl to go and turn on generator when
exactly. My wife will just be there. It's me that will get up and go and turn on the gen.
But when you know they,
she will go and do it if I'm
because he must have taught me or something.
Exactly. Same way, if maybe the child is crying, natural instinct, the woman can just go and carry the child and change diaper. But that doesn't mean that the man cannot do it. There's something that are just instincts.
Exactly.
Because so let's forget about this
divide, this thing that we're trying to,
like you said, equity.
Yes.
Things that pertains to the women.
Yes.
Things that pertains to the men. Let us do it like that.
Exactly. I think it's just a case of recognizing our uniqueness and seeing it as our strength, not our point of division. Yes, recognizing and appreciating it, right? Your wife is pregnant. You're not going to start comparing her with another woman because it's different for everybody. Oh, she doesn't feel... I saw this guy that said, right from... In fact, the woman was the one that put it up and the husband just corroborated. Right from when she took him, she couldn't cook. She couldn't do anything. The husband was the one that I get it when you say, oh, let's begin to teach our male children how to cook, because we have also seen women weaponize that against them.
Their husbands, yeah.
Against their husband. You know, go give them food because, sometimes, you've used your nasty whatever to push the man into what he naturally will not do. I've seen men who tell you, I can't eat any other food but my wife's food. And this woman is happy doing it until you jammed and wanting feminism. He wants to turn you, you just turn. He wants to turn me to a slave. Meanwhile, another woman is out there saying, "Wow." So your husband even tastes the food. He can tell that, even though this food day house, not be my wife
cooked it.
That's something that's supposed to be romantic, but no, because of your skewed mindset, you've turned everything inside out. Meanwhile, you have the power. A woman. You have the power to fix some of the... I feel that if a woman feels that I need my husband to do something, she knows how to find her way around it.
She knows.
She knows how to find... In fact, that's why even till date, you want to catch a hardened criminal, you want to soften a man, send a woman.
Use a woman. And the woman does not come with that bossy attitude.
No.
She comes with a feminine, soft,
she's in a feminine strength. That even does anything, she will say, yes, sir. I do that. Okay, sir. And you just realize that the man just melts. The story of Samson, Dr. V. People tend to say Delilah, and when they talk about Delilah, is a woman that deceives a man. Maybe women want to sit down again and two women, Delilah, Abigail. You want to look at these two women. Delilah, nobody said she was a prostitute. The Bible did not say that.
It was never mentioned.
It was not mentioned. In fact, if she was a very noble woman, that the kings had to come to her to cut a deal. To say, Samson loves you. Tell us. And we saw how she went about it. When he told her the first time, The Philistines are upon you. And then they came, they did whatever she told them and it didn't work. You've just deceived me. Almost she was breaking the guy with
Yes.
her feminine whatever. She was breaking him. Feminists, my people, stupid idiot. The guy go down there and say, wait till you define.
Exactly.
That is a woman as strong as he was, a woman in a feminine energy played around him that he couldn't even think about. The first time where I tell her, she tied me down. I said, "Oh, why the people really there, yo?" She didn't know when she told her his real source of
Strength.
strength. Abigail, David, they say, was a man of war. He never lost any battle. David said he was going to kill. What be that husband name again? Never or something.
Yes.
That means fool. I know before we say how she take marry fool. The way they were marrying those days is different from the way you marry now. And so don't even go there. But when he misbehaved and David got angry and said, see, I'm going to kill, in King James language, everything that pissed
She said
against
the
the war.
war.
It was a woman that ran out and met, you know what who a warrior is, let alone a king. So a warring king, a woman met him on the track, melted his heart. He turned back and couldn't stop thinking about that woman. The moment the husband died, the king said, oh yeah,
Married her.
oh yeah, oh yeah, that's an asset, go and bring her. See, your strength as a woman is not in competing with a man. You will lose him. Because you were saying something, Dr. V, that the man will fight anything that comes to him as an equal.
Yes, we are two men.
So
we
when
guys.
you're coming as an equal, that I've seen some guys say, I remember in the gym, I was talking to one guy. I said, I see this girl. He said, I'm my guy. Eh? I went to meet the girl. I said, how far? They say you be guy. The guy said, eh? I'm not your guy. What am I trying to say? That is, you don't even, they see her as a fine baby. This is not because she was a feminist. No, I'm talking about, I just use that analogy to understand when a guy say, or when a guy starts seeing you as a man, and then you now say, serious. Now your feminism. And what you don't know is doing to you is that it's making, I think that's the long story. The whole feminism, whatever, gets to a point, it is making you as a female now begin to act like a man. So you become masculine.
Yeah.
In your quest for whatever.
Because you're trying to counter them, you're trying to fight them, and
instead just submit within marriage. So I remember all of this I've said is in the context of marriage.
yes.
Because ideally, in your professional field, you are allowed to compete. That's why I had to say at the beginning when I was introducing Dr. Ovi that he's married, his wife is a high flying woman, right? So that we don't get into a conversation and they say, oh, this one that day,
I pity his wife.
I pity his wife, right? I'm not telling you something I'm seeing on social media. I'm talking about somebody that we're close. In fact, before her husband came now, she don't threaten me already. Like, I'll not release my husband. So, I mean, this is a man who understands what it means to take care of a wife with 2 sons. I'm telling you, 2 amazing sons. And sometimes I've seen Dr. Ovi have to go out of his way because his wife has something she's doing. He's running away from his tight schedule to go and pick the children from school. To even one of the days I was with her till like 11:30. She just, I think then.
Yes, I remember that day.
Yom was like 2 months.
Yes, I had to take him home.
And I said, what did she said? My husband will attend to him. We sleep. He would babysit. I've made.
Then I was tough, but I survived.
Do you understand? Because his wife needed, like, in her own career area of gifting, she needed to be out all the night. The baby would be a distraction. I'm saying all of this because, Dr. Vedrista, I'm saying this because some people watch this and say, you can't tell us, say, do you understand? So when a man like this is talking and telling you about the strengths you're this, you say, don't turn your wife to mumu. Not be mumu. She's a leader in so many phases. Do you understand? I just had to quickly say that so that you understand that you are missing a whole lot as a woman when you stay in that your strength of no, we split the bill, we split the house rules. Are we saying men shouldn't clean? When they can, why not? But the truth is that sometimes most men think when they're on their own, that's time. Men are a lot cerebral.
Yeah.
They need, you see that time they say, they do anything. If you know the project. So imagine a person like him now in his field. You have just diagnosed the result. Do you understand? And you came home. You are seated and running your head through what could be the possibility. This your wife will not say, "You just sit down." You know, they do you understand? My dear, I want him feminist. It's not helping you. You nobody sent you that far right. Feminism in its pristine state is equality for both gender, but we're also saying that equality is not possible. I mean, we're not equal.
Not equal.
How want it equal? Look at our makeup now. We equal.
And I'm sure that if the earlier proponents of feminism, if they can just somehow
If they can come
wake
back
up and
now,
see what's
they
happening,
will
they will be
cry.
shocked.
They will
Because
cry.
just go and look at the history of feminism. The things they were fighting for has been achieved.
At a point,
So
people started saying Chimamanda. That's why I said I read a lot of her book. Was the proponent of this new era feminism. But one time she had to come out and say,
yeah,
no, this nastiness we are seeing with women is by no means
it's
feminism.
not.
It's not what I stand for, because we're dealing with a woman who is well married.
She's married.
Married.
She's flying in her
achieved.
career.
Her husband is doing very well. No, if she were a feminist, she wouldn't be able to do that, because we are seeing that she's married to a man who is a man in all sense. Not a Dundee, not Monica's father.
Who is Monica?
If you have watched the movie, you understand.
Okay.
All right, guys. So thank you so much, Dr. Vio. We've had a very amazing and fantastic
You're
time here. Maybe you just
welcome.
want to say maybe a last word, something that you think, this I want in feminists, especially the young ones,
Okay.
can go back to.
Okay.
And just think a parting word.
What I want to say is, first of all, you shouldn't, as a young person, a young boy or a young girl, you shouldn't entertain any idea or concept that paints the other gender as
Evil.
useless, as evil, as wicked, as problematic, and all that.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I know there are good people, there are bad people.
Mhm.
There are good men, there are
They're
bad men. There are good women, there are bad women. And I always tell people, like for example, now someone say, okay, marriage is a scam because they had a story of maybe one boy or one girl or something. And I tell people that people travel to, maybe I'm traveling from Benin to Lagos. People are traveling from Benin to Lagos. They had an accident.
And they had
and
an
died.
accident. So
Is there a
does that
reason
mean
for you not
that
to travel?
cars are scam?
Yes, or cars are scam, or traveling to Lagos
Traveling
is a
by
scam.
road is a scam.
The fact that one or two persons have negative or bad results doesn't mean that that is what that institution of marriage is. And one thing to look around you. You'll be looking at celebrities on social media. Look at your parents, look at your friends, look at your neighbors, look at your church members. You have people who are happily married. That is not enough evidence. Is that not enough evidence to let you know that this thing is possible?
Thing is beautiful.
Then two, what I want to also tell young people is that we live in a world where information is everywhere, different ideologies.
Yes.
And so when it comes to marriage, I'll prescribe the word of God to you. Follow God's word. Follow the Bible. God has, in fact, let's even leave marriage. If you read the Bible, I think it was one of the books of Peter, that first and second Peter, was telling the men how to treat and handle the women. So Christianity is not patriarchal. Christianity is not against women. Follow the Bible. Then, as a man, appreciate women for their strength and their uniqueness.
Yes.
And as a girl, appreciate men for their strength and their uniqueness. I bet you cannot do the work of a man, and you cannot do the duties of a woman. Then to women, feminism or whatever the cause is, forget about it. Men are not your problems. Whatever they are fighting for, education, working, has been achieved. So you can go to school, you can work, you can do whatever you want to do, and don't entertain that. Don't feel that men want to come and oppress you, or they want to come and subdue you. No, that thing is wrong. That idea of feminism, throw it into the trash bin, throw it to the toilet, and flush it down. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. V. It's been an amazing time. And from me to you, I'm just going to say submission does not equal inferiority. No. I say to women, or just say submission just means come to your baby girl era and you need it. Yes, that's what it simply means. And I'm just going to have a beautiful time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us till this time. If you stayed all the way, you have concern, you want to reach out, please drop your concerns, your thoughts, drop them in the comment section. Is there something you want us to look into? Drop in the comment section. You want to send me a DM? Feel free to just look for me, send me a direct message if you feel that there's something or there's a topic you need us to talk about, or you're going through, you know, maybe a very unique issue and you want to talk about it. Feel free to reach out. If it's something that is outside of my own jurisdiction and you feel it's our guest you want to speak to, send me a message. I would also get it across to him and he will definitely respond to you accordingly. So until we come your way next time, it is a goodbye from us. I remain your girl, Coach E, the emotions doctor. I'll do rest.